is real estate coach Craig Proctor. How's everyone doing today? We're going to be talking about what to do with the leads. There's a lot of conversation in real estate about generating leads and buying leads and how do you get the best leads. And today we're going to talk about what to do with the leads, because if you don't do the right thing with the leads, I think we have to agree, you're kind of wasting your money generating those leads or buying those leads in the first place. So how many of you are super skilled at actually reaching the prospects and you know exactly what to say and what to do to quickly qualify the prospect and determine the two most important things that we want to know about any buyer or seller? Let me know in the comments, what do you think the two most important things that we want to know about any prospect are? Okay, here's the answer. Their motivation and their timing. Okay, we have to be quick on the phone. That's how you make money. See, back earlier in my career, I did not understand this. I might spend 20 minutes on the phone with a prospect and I might know, the name of their spouse. I might know how many kids they have. I might even know the name of their dog, but I didn't know the two most important things that we want to know about any prospect, which is what is their timing and what is their motivation, right? It doesn't really matter how great this relationship we have with a prospect over the phone if they actually are not motivated or their moving plans are years out in the future. So, in an ideal world, you're getting prospects calling you, okay? In an ideal world, you're not having to call them back. That's what I teach my members, is really strong marketing to get buyers and sellers coming to you, so you don't have to chase them around trying to reach them because they're calling you. But for today's purposes, I want to talk about how you reach the leads. So whether you're running your own ads or you're buying your leads from Zillow or Realtor or God knows where you're buying your leads from, the problem is how do I reach these people? Because they don't want to answer the damn phone, right? We don't even want to answer the phone, and we're real estate agents, right? So, and this has become worse. Let me know in the comments if you agree. It's worse now, trying to get a hold of people than it's ever been. It used to be people would run to grab the phone because they didn't want to miss a phone call. No, today, people are screening their calls, okay? And some phones are set up, okay, by the owner that the phone isn't even going to ring unless the person calling is in their contact list. So, how do we reach the prospects? First of all, don't call from your office number. Don't call from Remax or Keller Williams. Make sure you're calling from a private number. You might even want to hit, I think star 67 will make it private or blocked. You can test that. I know some of you are saying, well, I would never answer a block call. You're going to test a bunch of different things. You can call the prospect. If you get voicemail, call them right back again. And some people, curiosity will get the best of them and they'll pick up the phone. If I call them and it goes to voicemail, I call them right back again. We call that a double tap. And it goes to voicemail a second time, I'll send them a text and I'll say, hey, Steve, are you there? Provided the guy's name's Steve. Hey, Steve, are you there? And if Steve says, responds with, who's this? I would say, it's Craig, I'm calling you right now. Okay, so I teach you all of these techniques to actually get prospects on the phone, okay? So obviously, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are on the phone if you can't get the prospect on the phone. So that's secret number one, is how do we actually reach the prospect, get them on the phone. Now, what I've discovered is the person that asks the questions controls the conversation. Okay, the person that asks the questions controls the conversation. So too many real estate agents, when I listen to their calls, because we mystery shop our clients, when we listen to both sides of the conversation, they're letting the buyer or seller get all the information, and then the buyer hangs up and the realtor has nothing, right? So we're going to be trading information. So let's take an ad call or a sign call. Okay, those are pretty good leads, right? Someone's driving around the neighborhood, they see your for sale sign, they stop, they call you. One of the first questions I want to ask is, are you calling for yourself? Now, the reason I ask that question is I found through the many years of me doing this is if they're not calling for themselves, if they're calling for their friend, their relative, Uncle Joe, or whoever, you're just kind of wasting your time. Like you're not going to convert them into a client. So if I ask them right off the get-go, are you calling for yourself? If they say yes, fine. I'm going to continue on with the other qualifying questions, which we're going to cover here today. But if they say no, I'm calling for a friend or a relative, I'm going to say to them, well, would it be okay if I could get the contact information of that person so I can speak to them and then I can qualify them, and hopefully if they're motivated and their timing is now, hopefully I can convert that buyer into a face-to-face appointment. Remember, many of these buyers are listings in disguise, right? A buyer is just a seller in disguise in many cases because the buyer has a house to sell. So write this down if you came in a little bit early on this. The idea, if we want to make a lot of money, is you got to get on and off the phone fairly quickly, right? Can't spend 20 minutes on the phone with a prospect. Do the math. That means you're only going to speak to 3 prospects in an hour. You're not going to get rich doing that. So what I developed, not because I'm super smart, but just through trial and error and 20 years on the phone making these calls to tens of thousands of prospects, I developed something called the Universal Callback Script. Here it is. I even printed it off for you here. This is what Craig Proctor members get. This script, by the way, is going to help you determine the timing and motivation of prospects in 3 minutes or less. Yes, 3 minutes or less. All you have to do is follow the script and ask the questions. Now, I know you're saying, well, Craig, the prospects don't always follow the script. That's true. So when I ask them a question and then they might say to me, well, Craig, how long have you lived in the area? Are you married? Do you have kids? I'm going to answer their question and then I'm going to quickly bring them back on track by asking them the next question. Remember what I said earlier, the person that asked the questions controls the conversation. If you're letting the prospect ask the question, now the prospect's going to control the conversation and you're going to have a 15-minute conversation and not get what you want. Like, I'm not suggesting you're going to book appointments with all the buyers and sellers that you speak to, but at a minimum, we want to find out, are they motivated? What is their timing? Right? That's at a minimum, at the end of the 3 minutes on the phone with the prospect, I want to know, are they motivated and what is their timing? And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not motivated. Sometimes their timing is way off in the future. That's okay, right? We're looking for the good ones, right? So that's why we have the script. We have the script to determine their motivation and timing. We're not talking to them to build rapport in a relationship and all the crap you've been told. No, this is about generating massive amounts of leads and understanding how in 3 minutes or less you can reach the prospect, determine their motivation and timing, and with the good ones, okay, the people that are motivated and their timing is now in the immediate future, I'm going to show you today how to book the appointment. Okay, you got to book an appointment with an offer that interests them. Buyers and sellers, they're not going to meet with you just because you want them to meet with you, right? You can't offer the same old lame offer that everyone else is offering. So we're going to get to your offer here in a minute, but you can't be saying, would you like a free market evaluation of your home? Or would you like me to email you properties that match your criteria? They can get that information on their own. Okay, so if you've got a weak offer, if you've got a wimpy offer, no wonder people are not meeting with you. And then you know what you say to yourself? Well, that lead was no good. Oh, Facebook leads are no good. Direct mail is no good. No. It's the offer. So we've got to have the right qualifying questions so we can decide who we even want to make an offer to. I don't want to meet with a buyer or seller just because I can. I only want to meet with a buyer or seller because I should. How many of you have had the great joy of getting into a listing appointment, like you're at the house for 5 minutes and you realize, oh my God, these people aren't even interested in moving. I remember I had this elderly couple and they come out with the little tray and the tea and the cookies. They're just bored, they're lonely, right? Look, if you want to get rich in real estate, you've got to learn how to generate massive amounts of quality leads, and then you've got to get on and off the phone. Now, I know you want to get on and off the phone, but it's got to be with the appointment. And you're thinking, well, I could delegate this. I don't want to make the calls. No, 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 no. You can't delegate something that you're not good at. If you're trying to abdicate the marketing and you're trying to abdicate all the lead follow-up to your inside sales agents or other agents on your team, if it's not working as well as you hope it would work, maybe it's because you don't know what you're doing, right? So I want to teach you how to be an expert on the phone so you can get on and off the phone in 3 minutes or less, ask the qualifying questions, determine if they're motivated, what their timing is, and if they're motivated, their timing's now. I'm going to teach you what to say right here today so the good ones say yes and they want to meet with you. Now, once you become really, really good at this, guess what you're able to do? You're able now to teach the other realtors on your team how to be awesome like you. But if you're not good at this, delegation is one thing, right? That means you become really good at it, and then you teach people on your team how to be good like you, how to do what you know how to do. But if you suck at it, you can't teach them how to be awesome, right? You're abdicating. You're not delegating. Proper delegating means you're an expert at it. That's what made me successful. I was an expert at all the different positions in my team. Outside sales agent, inside sales agent. I could do it all. I was able to lead by example. So here are some of the qualifying questions that we're going to ask. Now, the prospect, remember, in this example, we've done an ad call or a sign call where they're calling you, and then sometimes, often that's not the case, right? It's a lead that you've generated on Facebook, direct mail, Google, leads that you bought on Zillow or Realtor, or where the hell you buy your leads from, but you're following up with them. So always ask for the person's name. Hi, may I speak to Steve or Joanne or whatever their name is? This is Craig Proctor with ABC Realty, and the reason I'm calling is because I received your request for fill in the blank. What did they request from you, right? Like direct response marketing, that's what we're using here. We're making an offer, they're opting in, whether it be Google, Facebook, direct mail, or whatever. When that lead comes in, I want you to call them back as close to now as possible with this introduction. Hi, your name, okay? And the reason I'm calling is, and tell them I'm calling because I received your request here on Facebook for this, or on Google for this, or on the direct mail, the special report, the list of homes. We can talk about what you should be offering them to get you to call. Nobody's going to be upset with you if you lead off that way. What are they going to say? Like, damn you for sending me what I wanted? No. Usually, if you say this correctly and in the right tone, you're met with thank you. Let me do it again. Hi, this is Craig from ABC Realty, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request for fill in the blank. I wanted to let you know we've sent that information out to you, and I wondered if you were thinking about making a move in the next little while. So it's clear to the prospect, hey, the only reason I'm calling you is because you contacted me first, and I've been kind enough to send out the information you requested it, almost like a by the way, really, that's why I'm calling, right? But by the way, are you thinking about making a move in the next little while? Now, quite often, you're met with, well, I don't know, we're not sure, we're just looking around, we just saw the information, we're just thinking about it. That's okay. That's called normal. Like when you walk into a retail store, you walk into a store and the salesperson approaches you and says, can I help you? Quite often you say, I'm just looking around. Right? You say that because you don't want this salesperson on you, right? So you might say, I'm just looking, I'm just curious. That doesn't make you a bad buyer. It just means that you don't want to show all your cards to this salesperson, right? You don't want the salesperson knowing your motivation and timing. So you can clearly understand that that is a normal response the prospects will have when you say, hey, this is Craig from ABC Realty. The reason I'm calling is I received your request, emphasis on yours, for fill in the blank information. Just wanted to let you know I've sent that information out to you. And are you thinking about making a move in the next little while? We're not sure. We're just, we're just looking around. That's normal. Now, once in a while, they'll be very upfront and vocal with their intentions, which is great. We love those prospects, right? They tell us exactly why they're moving and when they're moving, like why they got to be there. They tell us the whole deal. But quite often we have to do a bit of digging. So when they say, well, we're not sure, we're just thinking about it, here's where my qualifying questions begin. Well, if you were to move, would you be staying in the area or moving out of the area? Well, they're not expecting that question, right? You see, the thing is the prospects are not very good liars, right? They don't have a well-rehearsed answer to the other probing questions I'm going to ask them. So when I say, are you thinking about making a move in the next little while? I don't know, we're not sure, we're just thinking. They have that. But I'm going to dig a bit deeper. But if you were to move, would you be staying local or moving out of the area? Well, I guess if we were to move, we'd stay local. Our family's here in the area. Great. Okay. Then I come back with the next question. And if you were to move, when do you think that might be? Now, that's kind of odd because it's almost exactly the same as the first question, right? I'm sending you this information that you requested. By the way, you're thinking about making a move. Then I throw a little change-up ball, right? Like in baseball, a little change-up ball. If you were to move, would you be staying local or moving out of the area? And then I come back with, if you were to move, when do you think that might be? The reason I do this is you'll be amazed at how many people answer the second question that's almost identical to the first one, but they answer it a little differently, okay? So that's a clue that there's some motivation here. Okay, number 4, next question is, do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? And sometimes they'll say, yeah, I have a friend, I know somebody. Now, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to say, well, would you be open to maybe meeting with other realtors? There's a tremendous difference between what real estate agents do and how much they charge to get the job done. Do you think you might be open to meeting with me as well? Not instead of, I'm saying, do you think you might be open to meeting with me as well? And most prospects, they accept that. They're like, yeah, there probably is a big difference between what agents do and how much they charge to get the job done. And if it's a friend or a relative they're thinking of going with, I might say, well, if you just list with your cousin John and he's not doing a very good job for you, like you're never going to know. So, be open to your cousin, but why not meet with me? And if I'm not able to show you like a tremendous difference in what we do and you don't see the advantages right away, by all means, just go ahead and list with your cousin John, but at least you've done your due diligence, right? At least you're going to know what we offer. So I'm going to kind of try to get in the door because I know if I get in the door, I'm going to get that listing 80 to 90% of the time. So, in hockey, I'm a hockey fan, right? There's an old saying, don't be too easy to push off the puck, right? Weak hockey players, it's easy to push them off the puck. I don't want to be easy to push off the puck. If they say, well, we kind of have a realtor, unless they say they're 100% committed to that realtor, I'm going to do some digging, see if I can open the door a little bit to get in there. Now, here's another question that's very powerful. If they own a house, right? I want to know that. So, do you own or are you currently renting? Okay, now if they own, I'm going to ask, would you prefer to buy your next home before you put your current home up for sale? Or are you the type of person that would rather get their home sold first? In other words, are you a buy first client or are you a sell first client? And the reason I do it that way is because I want to make the right offer. Just because they responded to maybe a seller campaign, that doesn't necessarily mean they want to sell their home first. They may want to look around and find a home before they list their home for sale. And the opposite's also true. So, the mistake I made earlier in my career is I would guess, right? If the prospect responded to a buyer campaign, I would make my buyer offer. But that might not be where their head's at, right? They might be a sell first prospect. So we always, if they rent, you don't have to worry about that, right? They don't have to worry about whether they want to buy first or sell first because they rent. But if they own a home, right? And how are you going to determine that? You ask them, do you own your house you're currently renting? I own. Oh, great. Would you prefer to buy first or sell first? Sometimes they don't know what that means, so I have to break it down. Well, what I mean by that is, would you prefer to look around and find another property before you stick a for sale sign on your front lawn? Or are you the type of person that would like to get your home sold, okay, and then go out and look around? They will tell you, if you ask this question properly, the prospect will actually tell you how to sell them. That's all we're doing here, folks. We're asking a bunch of really important and powerful questions, and the prospect will tell you, hey, I'm motivated. Hey, my timing's now. Or I'm not motivated. Or maybe I'm motivated, but not to do anything for a couple years. That's okay, but that just means I'm not going to try to meet with them because I don't want to meet with people that aren't super motivated, and I don't want to meet with people that are thinking about doing something a year down the road. Sure, I might follow up with them at a later time, but I'm not trying to meet with them now. Let me emphasize this again. This is how I became the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world. I don't know how many RE/MAX agents are, but I made more money every year than any other RE/MAX agent because I was very efficient with my time. Okay, I had mastered direct response lead generation. I had a steady stream of qualified buyers and sellers. Now it was all about jumping on the phone with them, okay, spending 3 minutes following this universal callback script that I designed. How did I design this? Through trial and error. At first on the phone, I sucked. And, I sucked for a long time, and then I started to kind of suck less. And then I became kind of okay. And then I became good, and then I became very good. And I would tweak these questions, the language, the order of the questions. I kept playing with it and perfecting it until when? Until I could not make it any better. You guys can get the script. Let me know if you're interested in this script. Type the word script into the comments below, okay? And I'll have my partner, Daryl, I'll have him follow up with you, and we'll make sure that you get the script. So just type in the word script. This is my life's work. You don't have to spend 20 years figuring this out. You can just type into comments the word script. My partner, Daryl, will get back to you. We'll get you the script, answer any of the questions that you have. Now, let's go to the next part of this. So we've got the introduction, right? The introduction is, how do I break the ice? Let me repeat it again, just in case you came in here late. Hi, this is Craig Proctor with ABC Realty, and the reason I'm calling you is I received your request for fill in the blank, whatever, the list of homes, the free report, whatever it is that you offered, and I just wanted to let you know I'm sending that information out to you. Is that okay? They're going to say, yes, thank you, right, in most cases. And I wondered if you were planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, then we go through the questions. If you were to move, would you stay local or moving out of the area? Okay, and if you were to move, when do you think that might be? Similar to the first question, but a little bit different. Sometimes they give you a different answer. Okay, we've opened the door here a little bit. Do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Do you own a house you're currently renting? Would you prefer to buy first or sell first? With this information now, I know, first of all, whether I even want to make an offer. Many times I don't, okay? This guy's not motivated, okay? Or he might move, but it's 2 years down the road. I got no time for that. I need to make money today. So in those situations, I might just say, would it be okay to follow up if I was to follow up with you at a later time? If they say no, buzz off. Fine, I got lots of leads. I appreciate that. I appreciate if someone says never call me again. I would rather them be honest than me waste my time calling them for months or years down the road. So permission marketing, right? Would it be okay if I followed up with you at a later time? That's what we're going to say to the prospects that aren't ready now. But the prospects that are ready now, I know whether this prospect is a buy first prospect or a sell first prospect because I was smart enough to ask the question, would you prefer to buy first or sell first? What if I didn't ask that question? I might assume, well, they responded to a buyer ad, so I guess this is like a buy first guy, and I go down my buyer offer and I make a good offer, but unfortunately that's not where the prospect's head is at because they don't want to buy first, they want to sell first. So if we want to get an appointment, we've got to be offering buyers and sellers what they want. The only way we're going to understand what they want is to ask the questions. Okay, so let's say in this instance, it's a prospect that says, well, actually, I'd rather sell my house first or at least get it on the market before I run out there and get excited looking at other properties. Okay, fine. Here's what I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say, would you like a free market evaluation of your property? Would you like me to meet with you? They don't want to meet with you. And besides, they can find out what homes they're selling for on their own. They don't need to meet with a real estate agent to find out what's going on in their neighborhood. How many of you would agree with this? Sometimes the seller knows more about what's going on in their neighborhood than you and I do. So if that's your big offer to sellers is, would you like to know what your house is worth? It's the same offer that every other realtor's offering, and it's information they can just get on their own. So we got to spice this up. So here's my twist on this. Not only could I let you know what's been happening in the area and give you an update on all the properties that have recently sold and the homes that are currently listed, but I could give you some tips on what to do and what to not do to prepare your home for sale so we can sell it for the most amount of money. Okay, let's stop there for a minute. What I like about not only can I give you like this evaluation or give you the detailed, up-to-date information on recent sales and current listings, is I can give you tips or advice on inexpensive things to do to sell your home for the most amount of money. Let's stop there. How many of you believe that you could do that? You do it now, right? How many of you believe that if you meet with the seller and you show them how to stage their house and maybe give them inexpensive things to do, like you'd maybe paint the house a little neutral, change the carpets, inexpensive things, that if you were to meet with them and give them your advice, they could probably sell their home for $5,000, $8,000, or $10,000 more. Let me know in the comments if you believe you have that skill set to be able to say to a seller, hey, I could give you inexpensive advice. I could give you tips on inexpensive things to do, like landscaping, painting, cleaning, moving furniture around, that would help you sell your home for $5,000 or $10,000 more. Let me know in the comments if you've got that skill set. If not, we can teach you that skill set. But that makes sense, right? The seller's like, well, okay, I see value in that. I see value in selling my house for an extra $5,000 or $10,000 more by doing some quick and inexpensive, some easy things to do. So what I like about this offer is it does require you and I being at their house, right? Like you could tell them over the phone what the sales in the area were, what the house down the street sold for, but you can't give them advice on what to do to prepare their home for sale without looking at it. Also, when we get together, we could talk about timing. You said you want to sell and buy another home. We could talk about timing and whether it's good to buy first or sell first. And I could answer all the other questions that you have. And here's another biggie. We could go through a net sheet so you could discover what you're going to net in your pocket after all the associated costs, after all the closing costs. You see, nobody else is doing that. They're all talking about, well, do you want to know what the houses on your street sold for? We're going to come in and say, we can get you that information too, but we can also walk through your home, give you advice, tips on inexpensive and easy things to do so you can sell your home for another $5,000 or $10,000. We could go through a net sheet, okay, where we can discuss all the associated costs and what you're going to net in your pocket on closing. See, nobody talks about that. So I'm going to show you how to make an awesome offer to the seller. So if this is a real seller that actually wants to sell their home, when you say you get all that, it's absolutely free of charge, you're never obligated to do anything, would that interest you? Most of the time, they say yes. Bingo. Okay, now you're in the door. Now, some of you may still suck when you get in the door, so you need an awesome presentation, right? Like many realtors, they just talk about themselves, talk about the awards they won, or they talk about their company. They're not talking in the presentation about what it is that buyers and sellers want. I can teach you how to do that too. But today we're focusing on how to get in the door. Okay, that's the first step. It doesn't matter how good you are face-to-face if you can't get face-to-face. Okay, so that's your sell first offer. Let's go over it again. What are the ingredients? Okay. Yeah, we can give you all the information on homes that have recently sold in the area and homes that are currently listed. But we could also go through a net sheet to discover what you would actually net in your pocket after all the expenses, what you would net in closing. That's the most important number. And by looking at your home, I can give you inexpensive tips and information on easy things to do, inexpensive things to do to sell your home for an extra $5,000 to $10,000 more. Folks, you guys are doing this anyway. Why not tell them about it so you get face-to-face with them? Okay, what if they say, well, actually, I want to buy first. Okay, I want to buy a home first. Then don't talk to them about coming over to their house to give them a free market evaluation. The guy just told you he wants to sell first or wants to buy first. So don't talk about, a free market evaluation or, coming over to your home. That'll turn them off. That's not where their head's at. Okay. If the buyer says, I want to buy first, what are you going to say to them? don't make the same wimpy offer that the other agents are offering, right? Don't say, well, I could email you all the homes that match your criteria. That's the same offer that all the other agents are making. Okay, it's a lame offer, and it's something the buyer can do on their own. They don't need you to get properties. This is in 1987, right? So what are we going to say to buyers? We've got to have an offer, okay, that matches what would interest them and differentiates you and I from all the other realtors, most of which are lame, okay? No, this is a no lame realtor zone here. So here's what we're going to say. I'm going to say, would you like me to email you daily updates of all the homes that match your criteria from all the real estate companies? Now, here's the twist, including bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, distress sales, and homes that aren't even on the market yet. Boom. They can't get that information from other real estate agents. Now, I know some of you are sweating like, well, how do I do that? How do I get a list of homes that are off-market properties? How do I get a list of vacant homes? I'm going to show you how to do that too. But you can see that offer, if you made that offer to buyers, it's an attention grabber. Let's do it again. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, would you like me to email you daily updates of all the homes that match your home buying criteria? My list includes bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, distress sales, and off-market properties. Hey, it's your list. You could say, what else do you want to include? How about you could include a list of vacant properties. You can search that on MLS, or a list of homes that have recently been reduced. I want to show you how to make an offer so the buyer stops and says, I want that. Now, when you make that offer and you say, would you like my list? Okay, let's do it one more time. My list includes all the homes on the market that match your criteria, including homes that are not on the market that would match your criteria. For example, off-market properties, homes that have recently been reduced, vacant homes, okay? It's absolutely free of charge, and you're never obligated to do anything. Would getting that list interest you? If you say it that way, guess what they say? Yes, I want the list. Great, they said yes. You made an offer, and the buyer said, yes, I want this. So now you come back with, great, when's a good time for us to get together so I can take down exactly what you're looking for? They're like, whoa, why do we have to meet? It's a good question, right? Why do we have to meet? Can I just tell you right now over the phone what I'm looking for? Your answer is, I want to do a good job for you. Right? If we can spend 15 or 20 minutes to get together, I can take down exactly what you're looking for. And that way, I'll only be sending you homes that are a perfect match. So instead of me, emailing you, hundreds of homes that may or may not match your criteria, if we can meet for about 15 or 20 minutes, I'll have a really good understanding of exactly what you're looking for. And that way, I'll only send you homes that are a perfect match. Okay, now the most important thing I just said there is so you don't miss out on one. The biggest fear the buyers have is missing out on one. So if I don't really know what you're looking for, right, if we just do this quickly over the phone, I don't get to meet you and really understand what you're looking for, there's a chance that I could not send you the perfect home. How many of you would agree? Let me know in the comments if you agree that if the buyer would actually come and meet with you and you could sit down and have a real conversation about exactly what they're looking for. How many of you agree you could do a better job for the buyer if you met with them? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Better job. Type in better job if they would actually meet with you. So what I'm suggesting here isn't something that's just good for you, the realtor. It's actually what's really good for the buyer as well. What does it cost for them to meet with you? Nothing. Okay, there's no cost, there's no obligation. Now, sometimes the buyer will just say, yeah, that sounds great, and they'll book a time with you. Now, when you meet with them, now you can do your buyer presentation, get them signed up to a buyer agency agreement. That's a conversation for a different time. I just want to get you face to face. Look, you could be the greatest baseball player in the world, but if you don't get up to bat, you're not going to get any home runs. So today, our lesson today is about helping you get more at bats, right? We'll do different training on the buyer presentation and the listing presentation and how to get them to sign up with you and sign a contract so they're committed, so you're not wasting your time with people that are tire kickers or, you're going to drag them all over town and after a couple months, they're just going to buy a home through their friend or their relative. No. We're going to get their commitment when we meet with them. Now, let's go back to some of the objections that we could hear. So, what was my offer again? Watch how many times I've said this. Would you like to get priority access to hot new listings that match your home buying criteria? My list includes bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, vacant properties, homes that have recently been reduced, something like that. It's absolutely free of charge. You're never obligated to do anything would that interest you. Okay, yes, great. When would be a good time for us to get together so I can take down exactly what you're looking for? Why do we need to get together? Why can't I just tell you what I'm looking for over the phone? Or why can't I just email you the criteria? My answer, it's a good answer. I want to do a good job for you. Rather than emailing you hundreds of homes which may or may not match your criteria, or even worse, missing out on the perfect property, if we can get together for about 15 minutes, I can take down exactly what you're looking for. That way, we'll only send you homes that are a perfect match. So when's a good time? Mornings or afternoons? I used to say days or evenings, and a lot of people would pick evenings. I'm like, well, I don't really want to work in the evenings. I want to spend that time with my family. And so I just changed it to when's a good time, mornings or afternoons. Would I meet with them in an evening? If I had to, but just by that simple change in language, what's better for you, mornings or afternoons, instead of what's better, days or evenings, I freed up a lot of evening time. Guys, you don't have to figure this out. Just copy what I've learned here. I've learned out on the streets, 20 years doing this. Okay, you don't need to figure this out over a 20-year period. Come and learn from me. I will teach you the skill set, and then you can teach other people on your team how to be really awesome like you. And then someday you won't even have to make the calls, just like I was able to effectively delegate this to a huge team of inside sales agents so I could sell 500 or 600 homes a year while I was doing other things. Now, what kind of objections might we get here when I say, when's a good time to get together so I can take down your criteria? They might say, I gotta check my work schedule, or I need to check with my wife or my husband. I gotta check with my spouse. So that's a real objection that you're gonna hear. Now we wanna find out, is this a for real objection? Like, do they honestly need to check their work schedule so they are interested in meeting with you? They really do need to check with their spouse before they meet with you? Or is just this some BS excuse that they're gonna use to not meet with us? We're gonna find out, because here's my solution to this. If they say, well, I'd love to meet with you, Craig, but I gotta check my work schedule, or I gotta check with my spouse, I'm going to say, well, hey, I've got a solution for this. Why don't we do this? Since we're both on the phone right now, why don't we set up a tentative time? And if you check your work schedule and check with your spouse and that time doesn't work, just give me a call back and we can change the time. So now the onus is on them to call me back and cancel the appointment. But if I don't hear from them, I'm showing up, Tuesday at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, so there are going to be some minor objections you get. There's only about 6 or 7 objections that you're going to hear. Here's the question: would you feel more confident if you knew how to handle these 6 or 7 objections? It's just the same objections over and over again. The answer would be yes, right? Would you be more confident if you knew what the objections were and how to handle them, yes or no? Of course, the answer is yes. So you're going to have objections. We're going to show you how to logically handle the objections. And at the end of this phone call, you're going to know the true timing and motivation of the prospect. So here's what you're going to know. Maybe this prospect's a total waste of time. It happens, right? Maybe they're not motivated. They really aren't. People like to look at houses, just like I might like to go to Auto Trader. Maybe I respond. That doesn't mean I'm going to buy a car. People like to look at houses. Some people are not motivated. That's okay. We only spent 3 minutes on the phone to determine this is a tire kicker, this is a time waster. That's okay. We're not going to bother ourselves with that. That's why we need lots of leads. More leads. I want more leads than you could possibly handle. Why? So you've got this luxury of choice. I'm not attached to the outcome. In 3 minutes or less, I'm going to determine, are they for real or not? So some of them are not real good leads. They're gone. Then we have the opposite end of that are buyers and sellers that are super motivated. Okay, their timing is now, and I've showed you how to qualify these prospects and how to make a really awesome offer to buyers and sellers so that they want to meet with you. Bingo. Goal accomplished. You've got a listing appointment or you've got a buyer appointment. But most of the prospects are going to be somewhere in between. Okay, they've got some motivation, but they're not ready quite yet. Okay, now that makes up the bulk of our business. How many of you would agree in all the years you've been selling real estate that most of the prospects that you speak to are not ready today? You know, they're a week down the road or a month down the road or 6 months down the road. That doesn't mean like they're bad buyers or sellers. We can still make a lot of money from them by following up with them. So if they fit into that middle category, I'm not going to try to book an appointment now because they're not ready now. Okay, I've determined through my interrogation questions here, they're going to do it, but they're not ready quite yet. So what am I saying to them? Would it be okay if I followed up with you at a later time? And if they say no, then I'm going to delete them. I'm going to respect that. It doesn't matter. I'd appreciate that, as I said earlier. I would rather them say, never call me again if they have no intention of moving or no intention of using Craig Proctor. That they're doing me a favor. So thank you very much. I will not darken your doorway anymore. But most of them, when you say, would it be okay for me to follow up with you at a later time? They're going to say yes. Now, like a dummy, here's what I used to do. The mistake I used to make is I'd say, okay, great, I'll call you back. And based on what they said, I would guess. And I would type notes in my CRM. Okay, they're going through a divorce, they're being transferred. I should probably call them back in 2 months. And then, of course, a lot of times I called them back in 2 months, and I was too late. They'd already listed their home. The divorce went through faster than they thought. The transfer happened quickly. I lost a lot of money by being there a little bit too late. Well, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be there too early than too late, right? So now what I learned to do is when I say, would it be okay for me to follow up with you at a later time? And they say, sure. I say, well, great. When would be a good time for me to give you a call back? And sometimes, even though in my mind I thought, well, they're not going to do anything for 2 months, sometimes I might say, well, give me a call back in a couple weeks. So I'm always going to call them back in half the time they indicate. That's the Craig Proctor golden rule. If they tell you 60 days, just call them back in 30 days. If they tell you 6 months, call them back in 3 months. Why? Because I'd rather be there a little bit too early than too late. Now, there's other things that we can do to keep in touch with our future prospects, including we can send out a newsletter, right? So I have, believe it or not, an in-print newsletter that they get in their mailbox, like snail mail, because everybody else is doing it by email. Now, I have an email version of this as well, okay? I text information to them as well. I send out voice broadcasts, ringless voice messages as well. I follow them, okay, and retarget them on social media as well. But I also have an in-print newsletter that goes in their mailbox because nobody does that now, and it really stands out. So I do a whole bunch of things for follow-up to make sure that by the time I call them back, they all know who I am, they haven't forgotten about me, and my follow-up's so good, even if I forget to call them back, which sometimes happens, or if their moving plans get moved up, it acts sort of as a safety net, because even if I don't call them in time, on the strength of my marketing, they're going to call me. And that's how the Craig Proctor system works for follow-up, folks. It's that easy. Now, if you'd like to book a breakthrough call with me, you should do that. If someone could type into comments, proctorcall.com. My team and I will spend 45 minutes with you, and we'll ask you a bunch of questions about your business, find out where you are right now, where you're struggling, what's holding you back, and then we'll show you how to solve that problem, right? Because you know where you are right now, and you probably have a pretty good idea of where you'd like to go. Like, what's your vision? What's your goal? Well, why aren't you doing it? You know, why aren't you doing the thing that you want to do? Well, obviously something's holding you back. So why don't we jump on a call and figure out what's holding you back? If you go to proctorcall.com, if someone could type that into comments, my name, proctorcall.com, when you click on that clickable link, you'll go to my Acuity Day Timer, and we'll ask you a bunch of questions about you and your business. And then you can pick a day and a time that works for you. Let's jump on a quick Zoom call. I will ask you a bunch of questions. We'll find out where you're at, what's holding you back, what you'd really like to do in real estate. And I promise you this, you'll get a lot of great information. Now, if you think this is like a big sales call, it's not. At the end of it, of course, if you'd like to work with me, I'd love to work with you. But if not, that's fine too. Let's spend 45 minutes getting to know each other, figuring out where you want to go, see if I can help you out. So proctorcall.com. Also, I have a private Facebook group I'd like to invite you to. If you're not already a member of my private Facebook group, then just type into comments the word invitation. Okay, invitation. If you type that into comments, my partner Daryl will reach out to you and he'll get you set up on our private Facebook group. So just type in the word invitation. So proctorcall.com will get you a consultation with me and my team, free of charge. Did you enjoy this today? Did you find this helpful? Let me know if you found this helpful. Hit the blue thumbs up if you found this helpful today. Hit the blue thumbs up. Let me know what location you're in. We get a lot of referrals in Craig Proctor world. Type in the major metropolitan area that you're in. You know, if you're in Toronto, you're in Fort Lauderdale, type in your city. I'll see if we can get you some referrals back and forth. Again, my partner Daryl's going to be following up and making sure that everybody gets as much business as they can as being part of the Craig Proctor world here. And if you like this information, if you found this as helpful, make sure that you like this page and turn on notifications. If you turn on notifications here, whenever I go live, you'll receive my content. Okay, and every week I'll come here with some great content. Like today, we talked about how to quickly qualify the prospects and book a buyer and seller appointment with the best prospects and how to follow up with the other ones. We're going to do other training on the listing presentation, the buyer presentation, on how to recruit and hire and train your team, technology. We're going to do a lot of great training here, but you're not going to get it if you don't know about it. So make sure you give me hit the blue thumbs up, okay? Like this page, turn on notifications. Type in the word invitation into comments, and I'll also get you into my private Facebook group, and that's where you're going to get some real good stuff because it's a private group for Craig Proctor members, many of them that are paying me a lot of money. You can leverage off of that and just join in and see what this is all about. But don't be shy. Don't forget to book a call with me, a breakthrough call, not just a conversation, a breakthrough call at proctorcall.com. Well, hope you enjoyed this, guys. Now go do this. Watch this over and over again. Start creating your universal callback script. If you want to get the script, type in the word script into comments. This is the universal callback script. My life's work right here. Type in the word script into the comments, and we'll follow up with you and we'll make sure you get this script. So everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being with us here today, and we'll see you again next time. Go out there, make some money, sell some houses. Take care. This is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.